disagree on only few things, and most of those things are minor aesthetic differences or the usual hot-button culture war topics.
I like, so his characterization is Republicans and Democrats only differ in a very small few things and on aesthetic differences.
Yeah, like abortion. just aesthetics. That's it.
Tiny little thing like
women's rights.
And he showed a picture of that. He's like, show the picture of the Texas Senate or the Texas local government, passing the crazy abortion law. It's like, oh, these are tiny minor issues. Okay. If this was true, why are the Democrats, Republicans at each other's throats? Why are we more politically polarized than we've ever been in our entire lives? Or not the country's lives, but most of our lives. We're more politically polarized ever in the last 30, 40 years. And is it all just minor differences, minor aesthetic choices? Like, this is insane.
No, not really. I don't think it's just minor aesthetics.
No, there are
fundamental
political differences here. Okay, about how the country should look.
Yeah.
Our analysis there ignores the special role Democrats.
I just want to say, he said, use the word analysis. There has been zero analysis at all. It's just him saying things. There's been zero analysis whatsoever.
I need the crown next time because I think that might be why it keeps skipping. I'm going to blame the fact that you have the crown.
If you want to start a Watch Together room, Adam, I'll join it. Okay.
I already have one up. I have one going.
So send me the link.
We could switch it up.
We can switch this. Adam is so desperate for the crown. He's like,
desperation. I got to get that crown. How can Sitch have the crown all week long? I'm going to be here for 10 hours. And Sitch has that crown. God, it's staring at me in the face. It's so evil. That little gold crown.
You know what? I think Pragmatic Culture was right. We do need a monarchy. I really like this crown.
The crown.
Okay. This crown sits very well on my head.
Heavy is the crown. I noticed Sargon said that my bad takes are taking him away from his painting. And I could care less that he said I have bad takes. I'm like, oh, Sargon's painting. That's nice.
What are you painting, Sargon? I want to see your picture. Yeah.
Sargon has gone full conservative now. He's like, I'm George Bush now. I'm painting. I'm doing a portrait of my son.
I hope that Sargon's painting is much better than George Bush's.
George Bush is not bad. Yeah,
his painting is pretty lame. Come on.
Share your painting. Send us a picture of your painting, Sargon. We'll pull it up when we read Super Chats. I'm dying to see it.
Oh, never mind.
Political system.
They're actually, some of them are actually pretty decent.
Oh, you're looking at George Bush's
I looked
paintings?
them up right now. Yeah. There was one, the first one that everyone put out was like terrible. But
they're not too bad.
Not too bad.
Aesthetic differences or the usual hot-button culture war topics. But stopping our analysis there ignores the special role Democrats play in the American political system.
That is pretty funny. Stopping our analysis there, that we haven't really made any kind of analysis, but...
No.
Democrats actively enable the Republican agenda. In politics, this is called the ratchet effect.
Do you think he's ever going to explain that? How Democrats enable the Republican agenda?
They don't fight hard enough.
We know from the Young Turks, all you got to do is you got to fight. Okay, you got to get Cenk in there. You got to fight. That's all you got to do.
Fight.
There is a good Scott Adams line. Adams' favorite artist. Adams' favorite irrational artist, Scott Adams, has a good line where he says, the way to know whether a news story is true is if, or generally
both sides are reporting it,
is if both political sides are reporting the story. Yes. And they're reporting it the same way, or they're reporting the same facts. Okay. And I think that's a good general rule to hold in your mind. But here's the inverse of that. Okay. If both sides report the same story but inverted, that's a good way to know that the story is bullshit.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is that if you're on the far left, your side reports that the Democrats are really the ultra right-wing party that just bows down and lets the Republicans do everything they want and doesn't fight back. And if you listen to far right-wing news,
they say
all they say is that the Republican Party is really the left-wing party that just bows down and lets the Democrats do whatever they want.
Bends over, gets out the lube, just does whatever the Democrats say.
Yep. So if both sides are saying the same fucking thing but inverted, that's a good way to know that it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what makes it easier to...
I'm going to call that Sitch's law of inversion. There you go.
That's a
Just
good
coined
one.
a new one.
I like it. It would be a lot. They wouldn't have to fight as hard if they could just win elections. If they just had more senators and more congressmen. Don't you think that would be the key? I mean, I guess you have to fight really hard if you're in the minority.
Well, that's what I think is so funny with all these socialists, because they're like, I don't understand why the Democrats don't push our socialist agenda. It's like, well, for two reasons. One, the overwhelming majority of Democratic politicians and Democratic voters in the country
are not socialist. Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
And then number two, like the way politics works in our government is that there's this little thing where you need a certain number of votes and a certain number of senators and a certain number of reps in order to pass legislation. And if you don't have that, then you have to do this amazing thing called compromise.
Oh, it's evil. God, why would you say such a thing?
Right, but that's what's so dumb is because we always have these situations where there's no supermajority. So the Democrats have to compromise with the Republicans or the more right-wing or more centrist members of their own party. And then the socialists start frothing at the mouth, going insane, saying this is proof that the system has failed. You dare have to compromise with other people.
I like it better when you call it betraying your values. You guys have to betray your values.
I see.
Suck it.
I see.
Come in here and betray your values, guys.
Daniel the Bruce for $20. Hey, Daniel says, I'm going to plug the gay stream Kava hosted on her channel with Gobbles, Gemini, Tenny, and I. We already got a hate speech flag like that. There you go. There you go.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks.
If everyone or most of the people in the stream are gay, how you can't be bigots, right? I thought that was the rule.
I'm going to have to tune. I'm subscribed to Kava's channel, but I didn't see it. I think I even clicked the bell and everything. Kava has good videos, except for when she's making fun of me. There's a couple videos on there that are very, very distasteful towards me. So aside from that, it's a great channel. Let us move on. I feel like I'm learning so much about this ratchet effect.
We're learning about the ratchet. Yes.
Yeah.
When Republicans hold power, the gears of the ratchet engage and the machine begins to move to the right, happily clicking along as policies pass, judges are replaced, and budgets are approved.
Do you think this guy's ever read Mencius Mollbug?
I don't think he's ever read anything that's not socialist propaganda.
Do you know Mencius Mollbug? His whole
he has the exact inverse of this.
He does, yeah. Everything always moves to the left.
Everything moves to the left.
The Republicans are losing every single time.
Yep.
Just flip this over in your mind and make this thing blue, and you'll see and what he's saying is exactly what Mencius Mollbug says.
Was the term he always used, the blue church or whatever?
Yeah, blue church and the red religion. Oh, the blue cathedral it is.
Cathedral, that's the blue cathedral. Yeah, it's so funny. I didn't realize that till you said it. This is literally Mencius Mollbug's argument, but just reversed.
Inverted, yeah.
Exactly. Inverted, yeah.
The tradcon argument. It's so funny.
Oh no.
Mencius Mollbug wants to turn the U.S. into a corporatocracy. You know that him and James Lindsay
he's not tradcon. That's like its own bizarre thing, right?
Yeah, I guess that's libertarian, more libertarian. Him and James Lindsay talk all the time. James Lindsay talks about it. Did you listen to the James Lindsay talk with Benjamin Boyce?
No.
It's actually very, very good. Benjamin Boyce and Lindsay, James Lindsay have really good chemistry, and like Benjamin Boyce just gets him talking about things he probably shouldn't be talking about, which is awesome.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Which is totally awesome. You guys, if you haven't watched it, I suggest you watch it because it's pretty funny and it's pretty good. I actually considered reaching out to Benjamin Boyce and saying, "Hey, you and James should both come on our show because that would be great."
They should do their own podcast.
Well, we did a talk with James, and James was a little reserved with us because he doesn't know us. But Ben, he's known.
Well, he
forever.
also was having a horrible day. The day that we talked to him.
True.
So.
Yeah, that was
he
a bummer.
Lost a bunch of work that he was typing up and stuff.
Imagine your computer dies right before you go on a live stream, and then you're forced to go.
And you
on
lose
your
like
phone.
hours and hours of work or days of work. Yeah.
Yes. The Wooster says, Adam slandering Molebug yet again.
Yes. Jump on the train.
Minch's Molebug is for the Golds. First of all, I've done my Minch's Molebug research. Minch's Molebug is it's just
a crazy
weird.
person.
Well, no, some of it is super insightful. Some of it is super insightful, and some of it is equally insane.
Well, the line between genius and insanity is a thin one, right?
Yeah. I really don't understand the appeal. So, but anyway.
From the time when
why is my
I don't know.
Return to power, the ratchet is meant to move left, right, happily clicking along as policies pass, judges are replaced, and are approved. Come the time when Democrats return to power, the ratchet is meant to move left, but the party acts as the pawl, immobilizing the gears, meaning the ratchet remains completely stuck until Republicans return to power.
Okay, so his conceptualization is, let's go back. Okay, so once the Democrats control and the ratchet becomes blue and they try to push it to the left, the Republican Party prevents any movement to the left. Okay. How is this not true in both directions? Like most of the main legislation that Trump passed during his administration was either executive order, or what's it called? Executive action, or they had to use budget reconciliation so that the Democrats couldn't filibuster in order to pass the tax cuts. So Democrats basically stopped everything they could, the exact same way under the Trump administration.